now. Yo, welcome back, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in to Legit Life Talk. We really appreciate it. Of course, you guys know I got Mo with me.
What's up? What's up?
And you know what I'm saying? As promised, we'll give you guys part 4 again. And this time, part 4, we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff that we talked about last time. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about things what made him get to the point where change started. But we all know change is a big part of the journey. Change is needed in every journey, you know. If you're not changing, then what are you doing? So with that said, Mo, how was your week, man?
Man, I had a great week, man. I just, working, grinding, thinking.
I feel you, brother, because I just started my job this week, man. So I've been a little tired, man, but more than that, man, we want to continue this podcast, man. Because I know everybody wants to listen to this, man, so we can't stop doing this, so we're here, man. So last time, we talked about, your last cases that you caught. We talked about the judge being lenient on you and all that, and some of the influence in your life that, with some people in your life, are like, how did they take it? This time, let's talk about, like, the people around you, who influenced you to start that change? But a better question before we get into that: what did you tell yourself, and what was the situation you had to tell yourself, hey man, it's time for a change?
Well, it came pretty much after that last case. After I caught the dope case, which was my 4th felony, I just knew I couldn't afford no more slip-ups because I'm hitting so many different targets on the court system. You know what I mean? You can't be coming back for the same offenses, like they were all different cases I caught, but at the end of the day, it's like I'm at I had no other way to go. So I basically just knew I had to buckle down and find a whole different route, a whole different format for things.
Yeah, was it like somebody there that also helped you, like, get to that mindset, like your girl? Like, how big of a part did she play in that?
I mean, my girl, she played, like, the biggest part because, we already had kids, and she was already, being a great mother. I'm not being a great father. I'm doing, some things as a father good, as far as providing and all that, but not really being a good role model, as far as the mistakes and things I was doing. So my girl was just the biggest influence for me, the best thing for me, because she always seen the best in me. She always, like, she knew, like, what I was capable of in any type of format, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether it's just, a street dude, if I'm doing these type of things, or if I'm doing it, legal routes. She always seen the best in me, which she knew wouldn't always be illegal. She didn't even, the legal side was never her choice,
Yeah.
She just knew, like, I could, it was a way for me to provide, and that was my options, at some point in my life.
So she didn't give up on you?
No, she never gave up on me.
And even though you was out there doing your thing, she probably was in your ear too, just telling you, hey, I'm going to roll with you through this, but one day we got to stop this.
And that's basically how it was, too. Like, she, after the kids start getting older, and, still the police heat and all the things that come with living that lifestyle, you gotta grow out of it, Otherwise, you don't want to go through the parts of always having to talk to your kids, or your kids knowing you're in jail, or that type of stuff. So you got to really become a parent, Once you grow up, you can still be grown, but not grown enough to be a parent. So as you go through more trials and tribulations, you got to eventually know how to become a parent too,
Yeah. During that time, and not just speaking for yourself, but the question is, what do you think the mindset is for somebody who's in the same situation? It could be back then, it could be today. where they want to do good, but they're still, but they're still doing bad. Like, what keeps somebody there? Because sometimes people don't have that support like you had that support. You know what I'm saying? What keeps people there?
A big part is support, but it's really, at the end of the day, it's all up to you. It's like you got to figure out the route you want to take if you want to get to a different lifestyle. And it only can happen with you. You know what I'm saying? Because we surround ourselves who we want to surround ourselves with.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You could feel like you ain't seen people in a long time, and then you want to go back around this crowd of people. You know what I'm saying? And just what comes with all those situations. So it's just up to you, really. Just your surroundings, being around people that want to do things like that. Because some people venture off on their own and just hit the road. And those be some of the people that come back with the best stories, like just kept it moving. Because it's a lot of negative peers amongst your own circle, and we all know that,
Yeah. So was there ever a time like when you did go back to that environment? Like, what did they say about you? Like, when they seen you changing just a little bit? Because I know it didn't happen overnight, but it had to be little things that you was changing, you stopped doing, that your homeboys see you doing and whatnot. What did they say about that?
Most of my homeboys and guys in my community, they kind of knew me for being a little different already. Like, I wasn't just no one track mind dude. You know what I mean? Like, I was a little bit of this, a little bit of that, doing a little. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
a lot of different things. So once I did come home from doing a jail time, people already, like, it wasn't a lot of people in my community that was doing the little bit that I was doing. That was my age group. So I was kind of like one of the first ones to go. Then I had kids, like, kind of first, and it was kind of to the point where I was laying down a path, for people to kind of see, but it wasn't all the way negative. So people are kind of always used to me being a good and bad guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. So people never really knocked me for doing gooder things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just seemed like, oh, that's another level he's on, or he's being a dad now or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to do certain things, and a lot of people took it as just watched it. You know what I'm saying? And,
yeah.
Giving people options of seeing different things like that.
You think you like changed some people's mind that, what I'm saying, probably some young guys' mind who was in the same situation you was in at the time to do better as far as them seeing you?
I think I always was like someone that motivated people to do better, because I always tried to do better, you know what I'm saying, or did things in a kind of a positive something for a positive outcome,
Yeah.
Like, even if it was something negative, it was doing it like for some people to get their kids some Christmas clothes, or or some type of, it'll be, you know what I mean, it's always for a positive outcome.
Yeah. So would you say it's more about when you did stuff, it's more like the principle, everything, and that's what they looked at? Or my off topic a little bit?
I mean, it's somewhat the principle, but it's more like just being yourself, like, that was just my role. Like, I just always was being myself, so I knew a lot of people, you know what I mean, felt the way that I was, you know what I mean, because I wasn't really doing nothing nobody else's way, you know what I mean. I was trying to actually bring back, like, the old days when, a lot of people were, being more of a man, you know what I mean. Like, I didn't always be the first one to jump off and say, let's go get some guns or go do some, some goofy stuff, you know what I'm saying. It just, you never looked at me for that type of, you know what I mean, resources, you know what I mean. Like, my resources are going to be something else. Like, I'm going to tell you, like, if you got kids, take care of your kids, you know what I'm saying. Like,
by any means,
like, you got to grind, but, at the end of the day, you got to make sure them kids got some food, and you got to, be somewhat of a role model. Try to hide it as much as possible, you know what I'm saying.
So would you say before you even thought legit life, what your mindset was, I'm going to hustle to make sure to provide for my kids?
Definitely. It always was that. You that's what you grind for. I don't know, like, nowadays a lot of people grind for a lot of different reasons, but my motto was always, and a lot of, cats' motto is basically grind for your family, or, grind for your loved ones, So that's what it's always about.
What do you think keep people grinding? Because to me it seems like if you grind, like, it seems like you have to have a stopping point. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to provide for your kids, but you want to have all this money for your kids. You know what I'm saying? Give them a better life, but you also realize that by grinding for your kids, is a certain lifestyle that comes with that. Like, what was your mindset? Like, I want to grind, but to a certain point to where I can leave, or was it like, I'm just gonna grind, and someday I'm gonna stop? How was that?
Man, that's why I said it was like it's so addicting. The grind is so addicting. So most people don't ever think that they gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? Like I never even thought I'd stop. You know what I mean? Like I always thought I'd do better things and more positive things, but in the back of my head I always thought like I probably still sell a little bud. You know what I'm saying? I probably still do this. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't never really get out of the whole mind frame of what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of change up how you're doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in my mind, I probably thought I was always going to still have, my hand in it somewhat. You know what I mean? That's what most hustlers do. And it comes with, the cases you catch and what really make you say you don't need it no more. You know what I'm saying? Because if you've been doing it your whole life and you ain't got say you're selling bud your whole life and you never got a bud case. You know what I'm saying? You got other cases, but you never got caught at selling bud. You're going to think like, I really don't need to stop selling bud. That wasn't the problem. You know what I mean? People try to justify it. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of reasons why people keep grinding, and there's a lot of reasons why people stop grinding. It's really all on you. You know what I'm saying? What you've been through while you grinding.
Yeah, I definitely understand that, man. And it's so hard, man, especially in Minnesota, man. Like, one thing I noticed since being home, it's so hard to get your foot in the door, especially when you're not all the way there. Like they want you for a 3-bedroom apartment. They want you to have 3 times income as much as I rent. So if you have rent, if you're renting $1,000, then would you have $3,000 in income? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people out there who don't make $3,000 at the job they got because
the numbers aren't matching up.
Exactly. And if you do have that much money and you have kids, how much time you spend with your kids? And on top of that, if you're a single mom and your baby dad or your husband is either locked up, or your boyfriend is either locked up with somebody else or dead, like, how you gonna make that money alone? And who gonna watch the kids?
Man, those are them is the topics that everybody is asking nowadays because it ain't adding up. The numbers ain't adding up. I do numbers in my head and it'd be like, if you're making $14 an hour, $15 an hour, which is minimum wage or whatever, you still ain't got enough. You know what I'm saying? Single moms, like you say, parents, and it just don't add up. So it's a hard situation right now. It's like they're forcing you to do different things, like, and then they want you to buy houses, but if you're not making enough to buy the house, then what?
Yeah.
And then you ain't making enough to rent the house. What do you do? Like, what options do you really have?
You are right. You are right about that, man, because I see it. You know what I'm saying? I see it as it's like a big circle. It's not like a circle. It is a circle. I'm call it what it is. It's a circle. It's a circle that continues, and it seems like they're trying to keep you down. It's made to keep you down. It's not really made to, you know what I'm saying? From what I understand, from what I see, it doesn't get you out of that circle, to branch out to somewhere else. Because
it's like, they basically recycle the money they give out. You know what I'm saying? They
Mm-hmm.
know what the average person is making and what they're paying for, so they know what you're left with, some crumbs. You know what I'm saying? So,
and it looks ideal to everybody because now they're saying, "Oh, okay, now we're gonna move you out to Brainerd, or a suburb,
right.
So you're away from that." But you're not really getting away from that because who else is going out there with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, who else is looking for a better life? Who else don't want their kids out there?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
then you gotta fit in and feel comfortable. In them towns they try to push you out to, like.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to really actually do that. That's kind of like forced. Now they're forcing you out.
You know what I'm saying? Where you could, it's kind of hard too because a lot of people want to stay in their communities. Like a lot of older generation want to stay in the communities and build up their communities. Right. But there's a lot of stuff going in communities that when people feel like they're stuck, they continue on with they go back with what they're comfortable with. Yeah. And a lot of people, when they get comfortable, they stay that way because to them that's life.
Yeah, I mean, I know plenty of people that's just comfortable with the life they live, you know, and don't see no change, ain't looking for no change, just really comfortable with the life they live. And my mom's exactly one of those persons. Like she's the way she is. She been that way, and she really don't want too much more out of life. You know what I'm saying? Like she's happy for the things that she has. You know, as far as her family and grandkids and everything, and she's fine with the way she lives. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the biggest people I respect because she's not gonna let you make her be away, or she's not gonna be away. And that's why I say it all comes down to you. What do you want to do? You know,
What's success look like to you?
right?
And that's what I think a lot of people get hung up on. You know what I'm saying? Not judging nobody at all. Not saying that people shouldn't hold a bar at somebody, and not blaming social, say social problems on certain people. We got to have more understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, just because you live your life like this, and that person want to live their life like that, doesn't make them wrong. Doesn't make you wrong. But I think it's wrong when you hurt people. Other people get hurt by the lifestyle you live in. You know what I'm saying? That's when it's wrong. When you're out there hurting innocent people who just, you know what I'm saying, like rapists,
Right.
stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Or down that line. You know what I'm saying? But if you just living your life to live your life,
Because you never know what somebody's chasing. You know, it's like some people, like just from the conversation that I had with my mom, she's like, I used to always tell her, like, I'm gonna buy you a brand new house, a brand new car, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that.
shit, I don't want that.
She said, boy, I don't want that stuff. You know,
That's what my
like,
grandkids probably said something like that.
stuff of that nature. You know, like she doesn't want all that. You know, and that boils down to what are you really chasing in life? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you really chasing a mansion for your family? Are you chasing fancy cars? Are you chasing shoes? You know, like, what are you chasing in life?
What's important
What's really important?
to each individual, and when you're in a relationship, what's important to that couple? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why, you know what I'm saying? We get into a whole spill about that, and we're going to say that for a different time. But let's get back to you know what I'm saying? Like, now with all that said, like, what's important to Mo?
Number one to Mo is family, and friends. And it's really not friends, it's really like family also, you know, like I consider you family. You're friends, but you're family, you know. So basically family, man. Family, my immediate family first, which is Natasha Oker and all my kids. I got 4 kids, 3 sons and a daughter, so those are the most important thing in my life for sure, you know. That's what I focus on every day. I strive for every day, you know, like to figure out a way for them, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, find a way to get them what, you know, because they didn't ask to be here.
You're
You know,
right.
the kids don't ever ask to be here. They're just here. So you don't want to set them up for, you know, failure, you know, so.
You're right about that, man. And a lot of people don't think like that, man, because you get a lot of people who go out there, they go out there on the block, or we use the block first. They go out there on the block, and they're out there chilling with their homeboys, knowing they got kids at home, and they see an enemy, you know what I'm saying, they might blow their ass down, you know?
Right.
But at what point do you think about people who need you? You know? Because you can explain it too, like...
That's priorities, man. It's like, you gotta, it come with having your priorities straight, you know what I mean? Like, when you live in that life, man, you still can have priorities, you can still have morals, you know what I mean? You can still have goals, you know what I mean? So, some people don't. Some people do, you know, like, you think about, you know what I mean, what you gonna do to affect what you got going on, you know what I mean? Is this person worth me being gone from my kids for the rest of my life, or chancing me being with my kids and this dude shooting back at me because I didn't, you know, finish the job? Or
Yeah.
you got to take all that stuff, and it comes with your priorities, you know what I'm saying? If your kids and your family's your priority, you ain't gonna do it, you know what I'm saying? If your block and your hood is your priorities, then you're gonna do it and try to think that's the way to do it, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And
I know you probably know people out there who don't even think about their kids, and they're out there every day. Well, I'm not going to say don't think about their kids, but they're out there every day, and they're willing to do anything to benefit, you know what I'm saying, that their boys. You know what I'm saying?
Their lifestyle and their image, you know.
Exactly.
A lot of people do it for their image, and it comes a point where you got to stop caring about your image. You know, you do it in the beginning, you know what I mean? And people going to know the type of person you are. So the longer you keep trying to, you know, hold up an image and care about what people think about you, it's not going to end good, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's not what you should be chasing, you know what I mean? And especially when you got other people that care about more than that, you know? Like, they care about it, but at the end of the day, they're not forcing you to always look this way or act this way or, you know? It's up to you. So
now I know Legit Life is a long time in coming because we've been talking about doing something like this, starting our own business, either your business or my business or my brother's business. You know what I'm saying? We always get together and decide something. You know what I'm saying? And I think you were the first one to actually start your business. Like, you did every step necessary to register your stuff as an LLC. You know what I'm saying? You did everything. You know what I'm saying? You went down to the government center. I mean, you did everything you had to do to start your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, you did that. You know what I'm saying? To other people, it might look small, but to you, that's like, it may feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I accomplished this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, damn, Mo really started his own business. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did that make you feel?
And it feels wonderful. It feels wonderful because, like you say, you know you really accomplished something, and it's like basically taking our ideas and really, you know, following through with one, completing a dream. You know, like, we got many dreams, we got many things we want to do. So when you can really check something off that list, you know what I'm saying, in a way like that, you know, because Legit Life is so much more than just, you know, a business. It's a brand, you know what I mean? It's a lifestyle. It's a mindset, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like I covered a lot of bases with this name, you know, this brand, you know, this clothing line. It's like the sky's the limit with it, you know? So it's like I feel way, way wonderful about it, you know, because it's not like I just came up with a nice, you know, a nice logo, you know?
Yeah.
It
represents you.
It represents, you know, me now. It represents a lot of people that's trying, and it represents, you know, people that have been doing the right thing. You know, like, it's universal, man. So it's like it's a very super great feeling to have accomplished this, and you know, and I can't say it's. Like I said, I got a team. Like, you always help me stay grinding to complete it. You know what I'm saying? Like, your brother DeMille, he helped me remix names and come up with the name that we got now. So it's like, it comes from team and people that's, you know, still grinding with you. And like you said, we always get up and talk business. So when you putting your minds together and always looking for, you know, some better things to do, it's gonna happen, you know. And this is just the beginning for us, and we know that, you know.
Yeah. And with me, when I seen from you, man, I always wanted to be involved. Because, you know, I went off, you know what I'm saying, I was gone for almost 12 years or whatnot, and I was always trying to grow my mind. That's what I was doing. I was trying to grow my mind, find out who I am. And I always knew you had that hustler thing in you, and I felt it was my job, or I owe it to you as being your friend / brother, best friend / brother, to bring out the best in you. So I would come home and like, man, everything you doing, like, in the streets, when you know what I'm saying, hustling and shit, dude, that's, if you professionalize that, all you are logistic. You're logician. That's what you are. You are taking something, supply and demand. If you're moving it around, might not be legal at the time, but when you're doing it, that's people get paid a lot of money for it, and you do it well. You know what I'm saying?
And you've been telling me that since day one, for sure. You know, like, you always turned to negative, you know, like this could really be something more positive, you know, with that mindset. You always acknowledge the grind, you know, and wanted to change it. So that's kind of why I always thought about, you know, these type of things, you know.
Yeah, it takes a team, and it takes wanting to change. Like, obviously you change, and keeping that mindset, man. You could work in so many different ways, man, to be be legal, to be legit, you know, to have that legit life. And I don't think a lot of people out there understand that because there's no voice out there for them. There's a voice, but they're not the voice that's speaking to them. They're not listening to that voice because they're not speaking to them in the right way.
Exactly.
You know, and a lot of people get stuck in their own ways. Well, I told him this is what we're supposed to do. He didn't listen. Now, what do? You give up on that person? No, you keep speaking, and that's part of the reason why we started Legit Life Talk, because we want to get that voice out there. You know, like take us through day one of Legit Life. Like, I know you talked to my brother about the name. Like, take us through day one.
Well, day one was pretty much like the first thing. You have to basically figure out what you want to do and what you're going to call it, you know? So day one basically became with me and Mill, you know, sitting down. I actually went down to Texas. We had been back and forth on the phone talking about the business, and I was telling him what I had down on the computer. I'm still writing stuff down because, you know, I wasn't good at the computer, so I'm writing stuff down on paper. I'm like, I want to show you, but he's like, man, email me to do this for me, you know? And I'm like, bro, I don't know how to do that, and, you know, I wrote everything down. I got it all right here, you know. I got the documents. It's on paper, you know.
Yeah.
So he's like, it boiled down to us just doing a lot of phone tag and stuff, but just still grinding. And I ended up just shooting down to Texas one weekend. Like, man, I'm just come down, bring all my ideas, and I need your help. You know what I'm saying? And we'll work together and try to plot up on the right name and the next procedure. And that's what we accomplished a lot of stuff just from that trip down there. We got the name, and we kind of lined up things that will be the next steps as far as who's going to be our, you know what I mean, where we going to shop at.
Yeah.
Who's going to do it, you know.
And what was your first order like? You remember selling your first T-shirt?
Well, I actually started with the hoodies.
Okay.
Yeah, so
it was cold around that time, too. You started October 2018, I remember that.
Yeah.
So how did that make you feel?
I mean, it felt great, man. I found a company that I could order my hoodies through. Then I found basically a guy who can do them for me, who can help me do all my printing and ordering all in one package. So I got all that stuff together, and I just, you know, put in an order. I ordered 50 hoodies, you know, 50 hoodies, and just kind of went from there. Just
start pushing it out.
Just started kind of throwing it out there. I made a Facebook, Instagram. You know, I never had none of that stuff, so it's like now I'm getting used to how to work the buttons and find friends and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I know a lot of people probably happy to see you on Facebook. Like, where you been at? You probably got a lot of them messages too, right?
Yeah.
Like, where you been? I ain't seen you since high school.
Yeah, man. It was so many people that I touched bases with that I ain't never forget about. But at the end of the day, it's like haven't been active or had no way to get in touch with people. So it opened up a lot of more, you know, good doors. You know, people I haven't seen, old close friends, and those were my main supporters. You know, out the gate.
That's what's up, man. And then like, I seen the T-shirt. I'm like, man, this is dope. You know what I'm saying? Then you start having photo shoots and you had little posters going out. Then it was just, I was like, man, he actually started this T-shirt thing. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people probably say, oh, is it just going to be T-shirts and hoodies coming? No, it's going to be a lot more than that, because this is eventually going to be a clothing line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to get, like, what are you planning on doing with it?
I mean, like you say, it started off with T-shirts and hoodies, but it's definitely going to be a well-developed, managed clothing line with, you know, several different options of clothes to wear and designs, you know. So I'm in the middle right now building a catalog as far as, you know, I'm gonna organize it a lot better, a lot more professional. Just it's going to the next level, and that's where Legit Life's headed, you know. Like, you got to start off grinding, you know. I started off delivering, you know, driving to people before I even thought about, you know, mailing it to people. Just, you know, you got to start somewhere, and with everything you do, if you stay consistent and you keep grinding, you got to grow, you know.
And don't give up.
Don't give up, for sure, you know.
Has there been times you thought about giving up?
Nah, I mean, not on legit life. You know, it's things in life that you know you think about giving up on. But like I say, man, this is gonna be epic, man. This is gonna be real big. So it ain't no doubt in my mind. You know, as far as giving up or stopping. You know, it's the sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely support that, man. Definitely support that. So, with Legit Life about to coming up on this next year, about to be a year since Legit Life started. Is there anything that we can look forward to? As far as I know, you said your catalog, you get that coming out. Like, are you gonna have like, I don't know, like different types of garments? Like, now you do the hoodies, are you gonna do the sweatpants with it? And
Yeah, it's gonna be more suits now. Like I'm gonna do a seasonal catalog for each season. I'm gonna have a fall edition coming pretty soon, you know, and I'm gonna have fall colors to go along with the fall edition, and then I'll do a winter edition, you know, and it'll be just consistent of different sweatsuits, jumpsuits, you know, hats, but all top of the line fabrics. Now, you know, I'm going for the best quality, you know, the best feel, you know, and 100% satisfaction is gonna be guaranteed.
Mm-hmm. Now, is there anything you want to tell, like, those young Mo's out there that was in your situation, who's coming up, who might be living in your that might be living in the same situation you was living? Is there anything you want to tell them, like, that nobody never told you?
I mean, my advice to the youth and to, you know, guys that's still in the streets, man, find out what you really want to do, you know, find out what you really have a thing for, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of people that just, you know, that rap, and I salute all the rappers, you know what I'm saying, because I got a lot of friends that's on the rise that's rapping now, you know, so, but I'm just saying there's a lot of other things you could do, you know, if you can always be, you know, you can do the beats, you know, you can sell the clothes, you know, if you're a fashionist, you can always, you know, be a designer, you know, like, find out what you really like in life, you know, like, if you like to use your hands, you know, if you used to beat niggas up on the block, you know what I'm saying, find a different way to use your hands, you know what I'm saying, your hands are active, man, use them in a different way, you know, like, just find out what you like to do, man, and try to focus on it, you know, it ain't gonna happen overnight, but find something that you really want to do, something you want to leave on this earth, you know, and with that, it's gonna keep coming in your head if you just focus on it enough, you know, and then the idea is gonna pop up, you know. So just at least think of something that you want to do, you know.
Exactly. Like, starting your business. Would you say starting your business is hard at all, or was it more? What was the hardest part about starting it?
The hardest part about starting it for me was, well, one, it was kind of the name, you know, coming up with a name is really a big step, you know, and that's going to kind of be the hardest thing, you know, as far as like a clothing line. But, just basically not having the education and knowing the procedures, you know. I'm actually trying to work with some people now as far as a new startup business, as far as helping people get their business started, which will be like the most thing that people will need help with, you know, whether you're from this state or not, from this country, you know, you want to start something up, but at the end of the day, you don't really know who you need to talk to or what type of legalization you have to go through to get your business really officially yours.
And since you did all that already, you know every step to go through.
Yeah, man, I jumped a lot of hurdles and hoops trying to get everything, you know, and I actually paid some money for things that I didn't have to pay for, but at the end of the day, you know, you want to make sure all your bases are touched, and there's no way that the things that you're working for can come back and, you know, the government can take from you, or things like that happen, you know, when you don't have your documents right.
So basically, if I want to start a business, I'll come talk to you.
I mean, as of right now, it's kind of some things I got in the making, you know. I'm kind of focusing on this catalog, but at the same time, I'm working with some guys that want to get some things going as far as a business for small startups. And I can't say officially right now, but I think I will be able to help in the future.
Oh, most definitely, man. Hey, we're going to get that out there, man. I like that, you know what I'm saying? Imagine these young boys, you know what I'm saying? If you're a rapper, you know what I'm saying? And, you know what I'm saying, you make money, you know what I'm saying, off rapping. And now they want to, you know what I'm saying, get other people to rap too, you know what I'm saying, without signing to somebody big or paying this much for studio time. Now they can open their own place, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And people think it's difficult, you know?
And it is difficult. It is difficult, but once you get the right resources and you get a hold of the right people, you know, so that's why I definitely want to be a face for something like that. That's why I do have some people that's trying to invest in this business. So, you know what I mean? It's easier to do it and get it done when you know people that did it, you know, from the bottom, you know, like us, you know, we started from the bottom and we found the resources, so you see it and you can believe it, you know what I mean? Instead of somebody that's already, you know, got hundreds and thousands of dollars or millionaires and they're just saying, this is what you need to do to start a business, you know, like, it's not always like that for people from the bottom, you know.
And you're gonna break it down to them so they can understand too, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like, you have to know what you're dealing with and what you're paying for, and you know what you're entitled to. Your ownership is key, you know. Like Nipsey said, man, you gotta have that ownership. That's the key.
Ownership. Like, a lot of people don't know about that, man. A lot of people know about it, but then again, they probably have this. They're probably afraid to do it because they don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and now pretty soon, one day you're gonna have a company that can help people in the inner city, or they just coming here from a different country. You know what I'm saying, to get started on that. You know, so that's pretty dope, man.
Man,
And
that's the goals, you know, to be able to give back. You know what I'm saying? Figure it out, you know, get the blueprint and give back to your community. You know what I'm saying? Give back to people that's trying to grind like you, you know, like anybody I know that asks me questions about how I got started or who'd I go through or how'd you do this, like, I give them the game, you know. I give it out free, bro. I ain't charging nothing, you know, but at the end of the day, if it turned into a real business, startup business, you know, it would have definitely acquire some funds, but it'll definitely be the best prices most likely in town, you know.
so what I got from that is basically you're gonna give people a way to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be fully legit. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta invest in your future.
Man, that's it.
You gotta invest in your future, and I think that's what a lot of people miss, man. Like, they invest in their future, but they don't know how to really invest in the future to the point where they're not doing illegal stuff, you know. And I think your plan, I think it might be dope, especially for the community, man. I think that might be really dope, you know. And I'm looking forward to it, you know. I want to see that, you know. So I definitely want to see that, because you see it all the time, man. Some people, you know what I'm saying, from my community, they make it out, you know what I'm saying. They make it out, and they're doing good things. But a lot of times, those same people, they don't do that reach back and grab, and I don't think that's right. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's right at all. And I think what you're doing, man, like, I've seen you give kids legit life t-shirts for free. You know what I'm saying? Even though, I mean, that's right. That you give them out for free for some of the, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's who we doing it for, you know, like parents and for the youth, you know, like, so I give back, man. I'll give as much as I can, you know, because it's not really about right now about the money, you know. It's about the brand. It's about the feeling, you know. It's about the knowledge you're trying to share, you know, to hurry up and stop, you know, as much foolishness that you can, you know.
Yeah.
So it's more like, that's what I'm doing it for, you know what I mean? It's finna get more professional, like I said. It's finna get more, you know what I mean? It is gonna be a trending topic as far as the clothes, you know, so it's gonna be on another level. But at the end of the day, I started it for sure to, you know, to start letting people know it's a better way, you know.
Yeah, that's most definitely, man. Because me and my mom had a discussion like about me opening up like a little family bar, you know what I'm saying, bar and grill, and I was pointing out to her like, my first year in business is going to be me giving back to the community. You know what I'm saying? That's how you protect your place. That's how you protect your business, by looking out for the people around your business. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to go there and act a fool. Well, they're not going to go in there. They don't go in there and think before they act a fool. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this is a respectable family. He respects the community. We're not going to go there and mess this stuff up. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to act on that. You know what I'm saying? They respect the place.
Definitely.
And I think with your business, man, if you're doing things like that, if you give back to the community, man, it's going to thrive, you know?
Because there's a lot of single moms out here, you know, and you don't want to. I don't even feel right, taking money from a mother that's working already enough to take care of her kids.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the feeling of knowing I gave her kid a couple shirts to make sure they straight and just helped out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just don't feel right as a businessman or a man.
Exactly.
Like, I'll sell it to grown men and grown women that want to support and help out, which is definitely always well appreciated,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, certain things you do have to give, and like, I mean, I'll give it to adults too if they didn't have the funds and they wanted to support, It's all love with me, so as long as I'm not going, in a hole or jeopardizing my family behind it, I'm more than willing to help or give,
Yep, that legit life, mn.com, man. You guys make sure you hit up that website and check it out, or you can reach him personally on Facebook. Put an order in, support the movement. Like Minnesota, like, let's support this movement. Minneapolis, St. Paul, let's support this movement. Wherever you at, man, let's support this movement. Like, let's help each other out. There's a lot of black-owned businesses out there, right?
Yes, sir.
And let's help each other out. Like, that's how you fight back in a way. You pull people with you. Like, the first thing I do when I need something done, let's say I need to go dry clean, I look for a black one. You know what I'm saying? Nothing against other races, but I want to help. I want to help out my community a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I go in there, I be respectful, drop my stuff off. Hey, that black person just got more money.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's what you got to do. Like, you don't always have to stick just amongst your people, but at the end of the day, you always want to support your people as well, So even if you mix and match, it's like, make sure you're at least giving back to your community if you want to help uplift your community, if you want to uplift your race,
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, we're all somewhat immigrants, so it's like we're all fighting a struggle. So end of the day, let's help each other,
Yeah.
Let's help each other.
Most definitely. So we're going to the final question, man. What do you think right now is the biggest problem in our community? I'm not going to say black community. I'm going to say in our community. And how could it be fixed in your eyes?
Man, the biggest problem I would say is basically, in my eyes, not like the priorities, but it's basically what you do it for. What are people living for? And the world, I feel, is living for things that are not what you're on this earth for,
Yeah.
So it's a lot more like show and tell, and I don't know. It's a hard era right now, because back in the day, people didn't really care. Like, you could be clean and fresh and all that, but you could wear the same clothes for a week, But nowadays, like, you ain't even catching the people wearing the same clothes for a week barely, Like, even the people on the block make sure they wearing a fresh new fit every day. Like, everybody want to be fresh. It's nothing wrong with that, but it's like people are chasing the wrong things, like, get it up first, you know what I'm saying? Figure out what you're here for first, you know what I'm saying? And then start focusing on, because that's not the most important thing,
Don't blow your bag right away, right?
Man, what's that one show, Blew a Bag, or what was that?
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, that's funny, man, but I know plenty of people that do it, and you gotta live, but you gotta survive too, so.
And travel.
Yeah, man.
That's what these kids need, man.
Invest.
Travel and invest. These kids don't. Well, you can do whatever you want with your kids, you know what I'm saying? But I think kids get a better understanding of how this world works when they're out there learning about different people, different cultures, and, get outside their own city, you know what I'm saying? Like camping, trips like that, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like, just things like that, man. Not the new J's.
Yeah, I mean, totally. You gotta definitely show your kids different things nowadays, man, because they ain't even got as much chances like back in the day to play kickball and ding dong ditch and just neighborhood games. Now
Yeah.
you just on the iPad and stuff. So
Exactly.
You got to at least get them out there to see some stuff that's out there.
And then we're gonna say that for another day. You know what I'm saying? But we want to thank you guys for tuning in, man. We really appreciate it, and look forward for our next episode, man. Thank you.